would find him some easy completions to just settle him in. I would expect some of those movements and or screens, and then ramp it up, challenge him, see what he can handle. Hopefully the defense will give him some different looks. And to Lindsay's point, if something doesn't go ideal, how does he handle it? He handled it flawlessly in college for sure, but this is the NFL, and it's a different experience.
Yeah, the operation is the word I was thinking of as well, Dan. It's almost like what Fernando Mendoza is learning is not an NFL offense, it's an NFL language.
Sure.
The reason why Kirk Cousins is going to start week one and until, at least according to the Raiders, maybe the entire season, but until proven otherwise, is because Kirk Cousins speaks this offensive language fluently already. He knows the ins and outs. He can get the team lined up, and everything that you need to do prior to the snap, Kirk Cousins can do at a high level. I think a lot of the stuff after the snap, Fernando Mendoza will, in short time, be able to do at a higher level than Kirk Cousins. But just getting in and out of the huddle, I know it sounds rudimentary. It's the #1 overall pick. You guys are talking about getting out of the huddle and getting guys lined up correctly.
Yeah.
We are.
Don't take it for granted, right?
Yeah, it's that big of an adjustment. And in college football, other than the service academies, no one really operates from under center that much. But Indiana was on the extreme in terms of infrequency of going under center. So it is an adjustment, and Fernando Mendoza offers a ton of upside. But before we tap into that, we got to get the fundamentals squared away.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he handles all of it. I mean, O-line issues, a big part of the struggles last season. They've made some key additions there, Tyler Linderbaum, right, in free agency. But what are you looking out of that group to see tonight?
Yeah, I'm almost as keen on watching the starting offensive line as I am on seeing Mendoza, because honestly, this could be what swings his entire season. And you hit it, Laura. They were dismal last year, particularly in run blocking. Ashton Genty, for those who have forgotten, was an absolute hell. Ranked 49 of 49 running backs qualified in yards before contact per carry. And what we know about Clint Kubiak, certainly off of his time in Seattle, is he wants to run the ball. That under center wide zone run game was the foundation of the Seattle offense. And he wants to run the ball at a really high clip, particularly on early downs as well. So I'm going to be looking to see if they've improved, particularly in that zone blocking game. Are they working together as a unit? Heil Linderbaum was obviously their biggest signing at center. You get Colton Miller back at left tackle, who missed most of the season. But the right side is largely the same. So you really need to see some improvement from that part of the offensive line, frankly, before you feel comfortable about Mendoza even being back there based on what we saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, great points, especially about Ashton Genty, but key, too, to see how this O-line communicates with each other and with Mendoza. There's a lot to be excited about for tonight. But, Dan, no Carson Beck. So we saw how well he played last week. We were all excited to see him again tonight. How much could these missed reps impact him? Or you think they can kind of just look at what he did in the Hall of Fame game and live with that? Doesn't seem serious. We should point out the rib injury.
I do think missing the game is a huge miss for him, though, opportunity-wise. I'm in the camp that coming off of what he did in the Hall of Fame game, if he had done it again, it was going to become a very real conversation in Arizona. Just by the way it looked, the young man did not look stressed at all. He saw it cleanly. The ball went to the right place at the right time in the right location. You do that again, and you, in your building, start to have a conversation of, we love Jacoby Brissett. We're a very young football team. Let's see what we got in this young man. So I do think him missing this game and trying to build off of that Week 1 performance is a loss for him. It's not going to be the end of the world for the long run. He's more than likely going to play at some point this season, but I thought he could have been the opening day starter. I don't think he can be while missing this preseason game.
Okay, significant. They now look to Jacoby Brissett. You mentioned Gardner Minshew is a quarterback on this team, as well as Keaton Slovis tonight. None of those guys signed beyond 2026. So to Dan's point about the future, Carson Beck could be key. Let's go to Kansas City, where Patrick Mahomes will not play in the Chiefs' preseason opener against the Rams. That's expected, right? Andy Reid telling reporters today, though, that he won't play. No huge surprise there. The Chiefs erring on the side of caution. The real goal, having him ready for Week 1 of the regular season. That is Monday Night Football against the Broncos. Now, a lot of history came to an end for the Chiefs last year. 10 straight playoff appearances, 10 straight 10-win seasons, 9 straight AFC West titles, and 7 straight conference championship games. A streak matched only by Brady and Belichick in New England. All that came to a stop because they weren't what they have been used to being after last season. Dan, the Chiefs have a lot of young talent now that they're counting on, right? How important is it for those players to make an early impact early on in the season? They're going to need them right away.
5 of them.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's going to be another contender to rely on rookie snaps more than the Chiefs. If the Chiefs are going to contend in that division, truly, and then get into, I think they need meaningful snaps from at least 5 of those rookies. Obviously, the first-round picks, Mansour, Delane, Peter Woods, are Mason Thomas because they need somebody opposite the edge of Chris Jones to be a pass rusher.
Yeah.
Kennedy because we're looking for a nickel again.
Yeah.
And Cyrus Allen at wide receiver, to me, is a very big deal because there's a little bit of question marks at the wide receiver spot of, okay, how healthy? What's Rashee Rice? Is he going to be on the field? Obviously, Xavier Worthy, a speed guy. So I don't know the last time I remember a real bona fide contender that we pointed to and said, you guys are going to need so much positive impact because this is what usually happens. When you get rookies playing a ton of snaps, you're not a playoff team outside of the New England Patriots. Yeah. And so that's going to be a huge challenge in foreign territory for Patrick Mahomes and these Chiefs.
Yeah, especially on defense for me. So Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas in particular, I am interested in watching. I don't think Woods is going to play. He had an ankle injury. Sounds like R. Mason Thomas will. But it was very obvious in the draft when they focused on those two players that Brett Veach recognized they needed more juice up front. Last season, Chris Jones was the only Chief who ranked inside the top 50 in pressure rate. George Karlaftis was injured some of the season, but that's been a need for him, especially as he ages and maybe they can't count on him to play every snap. They do need reinforcements there and haven't really been able to find them. And those two players, and Field knows this so well, of course, as a draft analyst, both of them I thought were incredibly explosive off the line of scrimmage. Yep. Woods, some finishing issues maybe. Thomas, didn't have the perfect size profile, which is why they were both available to them. But both of them have tremendous athleticism, tremendous get-off, and I think those are qualities that the Chiefs clearly prioritized in the draft because they've been lacking them on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, one of the, silver linings of a bad season like the Chiefs had last year is you can do a better job of sort of self-scouting where you're actually vulnerable. The Chiefs not nearly athletic enough up front. I think a lot of people are assuming that because Mansour Delane was not only the 6th pick overall, but because the Chiefs traded up to get him, that he's just going to solve one half of the cornerback equation that was created when both of their starters went to the Los Angeles Rams. We haven't seen a ton of Mansour Delane so far in training camp. He's been banged up with this shoulder injury that impacted him during the pre-draft process. So are there high hopes for him? Of course. Could he become an excellent player? Absolutely. But even Steve Spagnuolo their defensive coordinator, has at times noted, we just haven't gotten much time on the field with him.
That's a problem.
For a guy picking up Spags' scheme, every rep does matter during the preseason, not just game reps, but also practice reps. So we'll see just how far along he is compared to what I think the expectation was when he got drafted 6th overall.
Yeah, you think about what they're trying to replace in the secondary. The Chiefs allowed the 4th fewest touchdowns last season. That's with Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson on the roster, and those guys are gone. So we're just getting started on NFL Live. So much to get to today. We have football tonight. Preseason is here. The Packers face the Steelers this evening. We've got a